Diaries of a Madman. By what must I do? Poster's note. I am making some changes in how I am posting this chapter. The full runtime of this chapter is 2 hours 36 minutes. I am cutting it into 5 parts of about 30 minutes each. All parts will be posted at the same time. If you are playing from the playlist, it should kick over to the next part. If you are not playing from the playlist, on the top right of the end screen should be a link to the next part. I had asked about this some time back, but no one said anything about it. Let me know what you think about posting this way. I think it may help people having smaller videos to play to keep track of where they stopped it. End poster's note. Diaries of a Madman. Chapter 187. Part 1 of 5. Author's note. Some fans created a wiki here, http://www.wikiofamadman.com/main_page. Some other fans created a Discord here, https://discord.gg/fyynyfq. End author's note. Celestia actually looked shocked when we walked in. I couldn't help but grin. Sup, honey buns? NNAV? What are you doing in Canterlot? Well, I live here. And Luna? Why are you here? My lady requested my presence. I can't go anywhere without my new favorite vassal, I said, ruffling Luna's mane. You're what? Celestia demanded, jumping to her hooves. The camera suddenly went off, capturing Celestia's look of shocked rage. Did you just take a photo? Yeah, I said. We want to capture this moment. This moment. We have some news, Luna said with a predatory grin. My lady has requested the honor of delivering it. Nav, what do you think you are doing? Celestia slowly asked. YOLOing my way into power, son, but, I said, shooting her some finger pistols. While I was at the bunker, I got complete and total control over Aqua. All the blood drained out of Celestia's face and the camera went off again. So basically, you're my bitch now. I am no bitch of yours, she finally raged. Sit. She plopped right back down in her throne, glaring at me. You look good there, Celestia. Which is great, because you're going to be ruling for quite a bit longer. Well, you won't. Your body will be there, though. And just what does that mean? It means we're erasing your personality, I replied with a shrug. Celestia's mouth dropped and the camera flashed. Man, this is honestly just the best. So who wants to take some time to rub it in? Luna, how could you do this to me? Shall I count you the ways, dearest ex-sister of mine? Luna coldly asked. Remember how you made me your monster? Remember how you made me your weapon? All those years you spent building me into the perfect tool. I wonder, Celestia. Did you ever actually care about me? Of course I did, Luna. I know it was rare for me to show it at times, but we were both always under so much stress. And what of me, Celestia? Twilight asked. You certainly never seemed to answer every question I had. And then there were all those sleeping pills. Twilight, you are the best student I have ever had. The only thing you lack is patience. I have such a wonderful future planned for you, but you're just not ready. Twilight sighed and looked down. I think it's time I go my own way. I think it's time all pony kind did. You've both fallen for the vile lies of discord, Celestia whispered. You're trusting this abomination over me. All she did was open our eyes, Celestia, Luna said. And we are not alone. There were 9 factions represented at the council. We voted to brainwash you instead of killing you. Remember that little coup I was building? I asked with a smirk. It wasn't anywhere near as little as you thought. Aqua said you'd lose for a reason. I am impressed that Nav was able to bring so many together, Twilight said. She truly has a habit for soothing tensions. And for causing all kinds of chaos, a voice said, a voice that finally clicked in my head. As Discord appeared, I pointed right at him and shouted, "John Delancey." That made him rear back and clap. She finally remembered. "Ooh, I knew you'd get it eventually. Holy shit, that has been bothering me ever since I first heard you. Why the fuck would you go for that?" "To bother you, of course." "Wow. You are really just all around unpleasant, aren't you?" "Yep. So what do we have here, "Oh, you know," I said, waving a hand. "Same shit, different chapter. It doesn't look like it to me." "Why, it looks like you're brainwashing Celestia." "What an eerie coincidence," Twilight said. "We actually are brainwashing Celestia." "Then that means I got here just in time," he said, summoning a beach chair and plopping it down next to Luna. "I wanna watch." "You wanna rub the fact that we're wiping her mind in her face?" I slowly ask. "Oh, more than anything. But that would be rude, wouldn't it?" "Probs. But aren't you a supervillain?" "Of course, but I have to keep you guessing. Maybe next time I'll give you a wedgie." "What a dick." "Welp, anyone else have anything to add?" I said. "Enjoy your victory, Nav," Celestia icily replied. "I hope you end up burning everything down around you so they can finally see you for the abomination you truly are. And I hope whatever you turn me into fails at whatever you order it to do." "I'd say it'll be worth it for a world without you," I said, finally walking forward to bop her on the nose. It looked like she was straining to try to pull back, but Aqua was holding her in place. Flow. As the small blob of water went down my arm, the camera went off again. Flo immediately slid into Celestia's nose. "So, it's everyone's last chance to say something." "I have an idea," Twilight said, trotting over. "Let's all take a picture together with her." "Don't you dare!" Celestia growled. "Ah, you're just cranky because your personality's about to get wiped," I said, pinching her on the cheek. "Don't worry, sunbutt. It'll be a lot better than getting turned into a changeling sex slave, I promise." "Is this what that's about?" "I told you, that was only just in case you betrayed me." Her eyes flashed blue. "That is false," Aqua said with Celestia's mouth. "She was going to purge your entire household the instant you found the last element of harmony." "Those lies really do add up," Discord said, munching on popcorn that he presumably pulled from nowhere. "This is what happens when you mistreat people, Celestia." "Navarone is not people," she yelled. "She is an abomination. And for the record, I'm glad you lost your cock. Watching you struggle with this has been ambrosia." "Also false," Aqua said with Celestia's mouth. "She was genuinely worried about your mental health." "That's almost surprising. So who's up for that selfie?" I ask. Luna and Twilight joined me around Celestia. Twilight and I got up close to her cheeks, both of us smiling. Luna sat in front of her ex-sister, failing to stifle giggles. Twilight floated the camera in front of us and snapped a quick pic. "You should do one with silly faces," Discord helpfully suggested. "Might as well," Twilight said with a shrug. It was a pretty decent suggestion, so we all took a moment to uncompose ourselves. Twilight quickly flashed another picture and we finally pulled back from Celestia, who was now actually crying. "What was it you always used to tell me?" Luna said. "Turn that frown upside down, I believe. Perhaps something about how the sunshine would always brighten me up." "You're just enjoying this so much, aren't you?" Celestia coldly replied. "Finally watching Nav accomplish what you never could. What you were always too afraid to do. I hope you like living in the shadows, Luna. Nav will never give you a real place at her side. Not after what you've done." "She already has, in fact," Luna smugly replied. "I got to have a deciding vote in what happened to you. And my lady vehemently defended my right to do so to the others." I recognize greatness in others and choose to elevate them to greater heights, I said. I don't see greatness in others and stunt them to protect myself. By my side, Luna will be achieving wonders. And you, under my control, will finally bring the world into the future. Spoken like a true dictator, Celestia spat. Yeah, well, guess what? Thankfully, she knew that was rhetorical. You can't be mean and nasty anymore. Isn't that right, Flo? Celestia's eyes flashed blue and she groaned, lifting a hoof to her head. That's right. Flo said with her lips. Just like that, all the snarkiness is gone. What did you do to me? Celestia whispered. The camera flashed again, capturing her in a true moment of vulnerability. Flo just erased the part of your personality capable of all those mean words, I replied with a shrug. You know, kinda like what you were talking about doing to me all those years ago. What do you think, girls? What should go next? Nav, please. I'll swear any oath you like. Don't let her do this to me. Aqua, what was that famous saying? Celestia's eyes flashed blue and she sighed. Do unto others as they do unto you. Or threaten to do unto you. I don't think that's how it goes, Twilight said as Celestia took back over and actually started bawling. I do like the idea of turning that frown upside down, Luna said. We should wash away all her sadness. Celestia flinched and the tears turned to laughter. Twilight took another picture. All right, this is starting to feel like a bit much, Twilight said. I know I voted to kill her, but this is making me feel bad. That's your conscience speaking, Discord said. You should learn to ignore that OL thing. All it ever does is get in the way of fun. Like you ignore yours. I ask. Oh, I never had one. I'm a magical manifestation. My mind is bent almost solely toward causing as much discord and destruction as I can with absolutely no regard for consequences or loss of life. Alright Flo, we're done dicking around. Do your thing. Goodbye forever, Celestia. I'll always remember how nice fucking your ass was. One moment, please. Celestia's eyes turned blue and her face went blank. While she was reformatting, Twilight pulled me and Luna down with magic and whispered, so what should we do about that thing? Attacking would be unwise, Luna whispered back. I'll give you a bit to throw a rock at him, Discord whispered from his position floating above us. Twilight sighed and face hooved. Luna, summon me a rock, I said. Her horn lit up and a rock appeared next to me. I grabbed it and flung it at the fucker. As soon as it hit him, he gasped in utter agony before clutching at the wound. After a few seconds, he groaned and collapsed to the floor. He shuddered twice, then disappeared. In his place was a single bit. Nobody touch it, I said. We'll make a red shirt put it in a vault later. I can't believe that actually made him disappear, Twilight said, clutching at her chest. I can't believe he let us wipe Celestia's mind. Luna said. Something grabbed me around the waist and shot me into the air. Gotcha! Discord shouted as he placed me on his back. We're gonna go on an adventure. No the fuck we ain't. I yelled, trying to force myself off his back. It's like his fur was holding me in place, though. After letting me struggle for a few seconds, he darted out a window. We both slid right through the glass and into some kind of other realm. All the dimensions seemed odd and every one of the buildings was heavily overgrown with vegetation. Discord flew from one building to another, placing his creepy hands on each one. When we passed maybe 10 of them, he finally laughed and slid through the walls. A mirror covered in runes was inlaid into the brick on the far side of the room we found ourselves in. I'm surprised you haven't been asking questions, he said as he floated toward the mirror. I'm surprised you kidnapped me. Can you please just kill me and get it over with? No can do. He placed one of his talons on the mirror and began sketching. Soon enough, he finished and the mirror flashed blue. Hold on tight. That didn't sound good, but I also didn't have a choice. He finally jumped through the mirror. We appeared in a very dim place. My clothes disappeared and I slid off his back and into some very warm water. The place was so dark I could barely see anything, but it didn't take me long to recognize the chamber where I deflowered my first princess. When I finally realized it, the mushrooms absorbed Discord's ambient energy and lit up much brighter, fully illuminating the entire room. Normal people teleport, I said, paddling over to the shore. Well, I am hardly normal, he said, sliding back into the water. Before I could get out, he snatched my tail and pulled me back over. When I was next to him, he wrapped his scaly arm around my shoulder and pulled me close. Isn't that comfy? Your very touch doesn't hurt anymore, at least. So why am I here? Because I am here, of course. Okay. Why are you here? This is our first date, silly. Our first what now? I ask. Well, that annoying Johnny had to ruin the surprise. I was supposed to get to tell you myself. You see, your transformation is far from over. Why are you making me look like you? Because that's all part of our deal, Anonymous. Or well, that's who you used to be. But I suppose you wouldn't happen to remember that, would you? Nope, sure wouldn't. So, you maybe wanna explain it. He sighed and rolled his eyes. You were supposed to stay at the bunker and find the info dump the old you left, which probably explained this. You know, eventually. Probably after you did whatever impossible task he asked of you way back when. So you know about that, hey? Oh, I do, he said, pulling me in slightly tighter. I most certainly do. Why, you destroyed the world, Navi. Nope, that was you. I don't care whatever chain of events I or Anonymous set off, you're the one who got it to that point. I'm not letting you put that on me. So what's this about a deal? It's just, well, I hated him so much that I couldn't just let him get away with dying. So there at the end, when I was going from bunker to stamp out the rest of those roaches, I ran into Anonymous, who had already seeded the start of a new world. It was he and those working with him who brought life forward. It was those across the seas who built the elementals to guide them. Didn't you say he yelled at you? Yep, sure did. Oh, you should have seen the look on his face. Yeah, I bet it was great. That dude was a douche. Sure was. All those humans knew they were on borrowed time anyway, so I didn't see any reason to eliminate him. It was too late to stop the rise of new life at that point, so I figured I might as well take some time to get to know the one I despised so much. As you said, he really was kind of a douche. I decided I had to have his soul. I couldn't just take it, though. There are rules for that sort of thing. But you can put them in a blood gem. That's different, he said. Once in a blood gem, the person is gone. All that's left is their life energy. The souls I take are effectively those people. I still have Kane rattling around in here somewhere. He spends most of his time screaming in horror at the amount of atrocities his action caused. Man, I bet that dude's completely bonkers by now. Oh, you have no idea. He's still a flat earther. Anyway, I decided to make a deal with Anonymous. I get to keep his soul and manifest it over time, letting him experience the world he built. Basically, making him suffer with me. You know, the funny thing is, you're really the only one I stepped in to change things with, but the others all ended up in much worse positions. I can only imagine. So what did you change around me? Oh, you know, he said, waving his other hand. Pretty much just everything that made you miserable. And obviously all those lovely body modifications, though I did those to the others too. Wow. So why would I want to date you? Because seriously, fuck all the other races, he said. Look around you, Nav. Really look around you. You are surrounded by utter monsters. I have shown you the worst of the worst in this world. Surely even you can acknowledge it's time to purge this hellish rock once and for all. In the end, it can just be you and me, together, until finally my power fails and we both slip into the peaceful void. How about go fuck yourself? If you'd ever try not being a complete dickwad for like 10 minutes, maybe you'd consider that there are other ways of deep sixing your whiny ass. Well, you'll have time to come around. You'll also have plenty of time to get used to your new name, Eris. How about no? How about yes? I finally tried pulling away from him, but his grip was like a vice. Maybe you don't realize the opportunity this provides you. You keep saying you want the world to burn, right? I'd love to help you make that happen. Fighting me isn't the only choice you have, Eris. Join the dark side. We have cookies. His other hand snapped and a delicious-looking cookie appeared. Don't you want cookies? I do, but I'm almost willing to bet those have raisins in them. Oh, you know me too well. He threw the plate against the wall, where it actually hit so hard that it stuck in. The cookies all flew around the room, bouncing from wall to wall. Eventually he opened his mouth and they all flew in, one at a time. It stuffed his mouth entirely and he swallowed them all at once. There are other advantages to dating me, as well. The arm around my shoulder started going lower. You know what, I'd like to go home now, I very quickly said, trying to inch away from his questing talons. There's no reason to fear me, Eris, he warmly said, actually nuzzling the top of my head. I know just how you like it. Don't tell me you're a rapist, too. I am not, actually. His arm finally pulled back. To be quite honest, I am incapable of enjoying sex. I see no reason to force myself on you. Torturing you in other ways is so much more fun. Though I would be quite happy playing you like a violin, my lovely little instrument. Yet, well, I don't have a god complex. Or fetish, I guess. Or a creepy fucked up abomination fetish, either. Which is why I really hate my body. Man, you're really gonna hate it when I'm done with you, then. We'll just see about that. What are you gonna do, cut everything off? He asked, giggling. Yeah. Wait, what? He actually sounded surprised. I thought you were watching me all the time. Yes, I'm actually going to cut all of these off. Whoa. That's fucking hardcore. None of them have ever done that before. I wonder what'll happen. Can't be worse than this bullshit, I said. Seriously, can we be done here? Oh, I hate to see you frown, Eris. I'm looking forward to seeing you in white. It'll make your smile shine. So do you really see nothing creepy about creating me as a teenager, gender flipping me, and then trying to date me? The teenager thing wasn't my fault. The more times I manifest somebody, the younger their apparition becomes. This is the last time I can use your soul again. You're the last chance to do it right, Nav-er, Eris. And of course, if you fail, his soul becomes mine forever and you don't have a choice anymore anyway. What do you mean, if I fail? Was that part of the deal? Oh, silly me. Guess I forgot to mention his side. He said if he could earn a new soul, that I'd release his into the afterlife. That certainly wouldn't affect you, aside from getting a soul of your own. But if you fail to obtain a soul before your transformation is complete, I get to keep his soul, meaning you'll become my wife forever. I don't like that deal. Too bad. You know, I think I'm going to enjoy picking out your wedding dress. I think it'll be very short-cut, so everyone can peek up it. Can you please just not? I sighed, finally relaxing and trying to sink into the water. I knew I couldn't drown, but that didn't stop me from wanting to. Once I own you for good, I'll definitely have to fix up that attitude, he said. I expect better from my fiancé. I'll have to fix your body back to what it should be, which I am just really looking forward to. You obviously need more in the breast department. And your booty is just pathetic. Really, you need to thicken up. Maybe I have an eating disorder. You don't know, don't judge. I do know, actually. You're just trying to passively kill yourself because you're too much of a pussy to ever actually do it. Also, you couldn't succeed if you tried, because you kinda can't die without my permission. Honestly, I'm surprised I've never had to actually intervene. Wait, seriously? I mean, there were the obvious times when I sent Miguel after you and a few other things, but I never had to actually directly save your life. You just somehow kept getting super lucky over and over again. I've never seen anything like it. High rolls, I replied with a shrug. You're a masterful nerd, he said, bopping me on the nose. He finally pulled me into his lap and started brushing my hair. So, it's time I make my real offer. What, you don't want me as your cutie pie human girlfriend? Oh, you don't get a choice in that part, he said, running one of his hands along my side and leaving it on my hip. I tried to pull away, but didn't have it in me. If you lose, of course. And you most definitely won't be human at that point. The deal, however. Well, I won't force you to take it. I know what's happened to everyone you've ever worked with. Not everyone, he said. In the end, everybody always got what they wanted. Sometimes, they just weren't grateful for it. You're gonna have to explain that one to me, I said, crossing my arms. Every time I give a person what they want, they usually disobey one of my conditions or ignore one of my suggestions. Their downfalls are all on them. Okay, keep explaining. Give me examples. Look around, Nav, he said, finally hugging me close to his furry chest. Let's start with Celestia. She took the elements of harmony, knowing they were cursed. When she used them, she gained thousands of years of life. Then when I told her to be a good ruler, she became a tyrant. Fair enough, though it's not like she really had much of a choice. And then there's Chrysalis. No matter what she does, she'll never be Moonbeam again, not without my help. I told her to be a good mother. Instead, she became a monster, turning her children into slaves. Kinda hard to feed a population that requires love to live. That's why you integrate into society as a helpful working class. All of them are subservient in nature already, so just turn them into servants that work for emotions. A purpose-built slave class. He grinned. Now you're getting it. You've tried this before. That made him grin and clap his fucked up hands. Now she gets it. A slave class is how you build a society, Nav. Societies were built to stop discord. Be honest, please. Are you trying to die? Right now, I am trying to make a deal. All right. I'm listening. You realize now that I have been guiding you from the beginning, right? I'd also like you to explain that one. You mentioned it before, but I'd like some examples. That would take a while. For now, I'll give you one example. Did you ever wonder what really happened to Taya's parents? I take it from that question, you are trying to die. Because you just signed your death warrant. Why? He asked with a giggle. In Egypt, she was destined to become a slave of the government. She would have been turned into a mindless killing machine. Even if her parents could have gotten her out, there was no way they could have gotten to safety. After you rescued her, I introduced myself and made an offer. She accepted it. Now, look at her. She is your monstrously powerful, immortal little filly. The most beloved little girl in history, with a mommy who will be by her side for eternity. You monster! He gasped in mock offense. How rude! I gave you the perfect little girl. She wants nothing but to love and protect you. And she's so happy to do so. So it's a cursed gift. You make her a little monster, but a happy one. If she is a monster, it is only your parenting to blame. All I did was give her the tools to do what she wanted, be your little girl forever. Now she is your adorable little attack filly, there to guard your back for all of time. And to lust after me the whole way. Well, look at how you treat her, he said. All those belly rubs? Oof. Why do you think she moans so much? She just can't get enough of being your adorable little filly. You really did a number on her. Truly, Mommy of the Year over here. Eat a dick. So what, you gave her power and guided her along the path to become immortal. Indeed. And now she is happy. She got exactly what she wanted. And what did you get out of it? I ask. Your attention. That's a hell of an introduction. End of part 1.